Hi everyone. So this is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 12, and this is the infamous return of Phaedra. Frack is back. Um, I don't really know how well or how much the viewership is going to improve with Phaedra being back. What we'll see. So it first starts off with Kelly going over to Shamia's house, and Shamia is laying by the pool. She tells Kelly to come over. Kelly actually indicates that she wants to plan a girls' trip, and she says it's the Caribbean waters, and she asks Shamia to guess. Shamia's choosing all these different places, none of them are correct. So finally, it turns out that they're going to Grenada. So they decide that they are going to tell the other ladies that they're going to Grenada. Kelly then tells Shamia how she's her divorce has been going on for almost, I believe she said, 2 years, and right now she owes approximately $158,000 in lawyer fees, which that is a lot. Um, Shamia initially starts off by saying bestie, calling Kelly her bestie, but then she says that she's basically can be friends with anyone as long as they show her love. Um, so then the next scene is it goes over to Portia. So I guess since Portia cannot film in Simon's house, she figures, okay, to get some filming time with her sister and her mother, she'll pretend, or I'm just saying pretend, but she goes to visit a realtor, and they're looking at houses. Now this house, if I'm not mistaken, is $4.2 million. I don't know how many millions the house she's currently living in, but this house is 4.2 million. It has a guest house, which her mother loves, mother Diane loves, and says it'll be perfect for her. Portia goes on to say how this is her plan B, because she doesn't know what's going to happen with her prenup, or the once her and Simon goes to court. So this is like her plan B, and she just needs something for her and Pilar basically to lay their heads. My thing is, she has a house already that her mother is staying in, so it's not like she's going to be totally homeless. But we'll go ahead and let Portia just tell us what she wants to tell us. But she basically needed some film time. She can't film in the house that she is currently in. So I guess this will do. The next thing that we see that Kelly is at the spa with her daughter and the dog. The dog is getting a massage, Kelly's getting a massage, and I believe her daughter as well. I'm just going to say this. That has to be animal cruelty. Putting all that dye on that dog, all the eyelashes, that has to be animal cruelty. There's no need for all of that to be on that dog. Somebody needs to call animal control on Kelly. That poor dog. I just feel so bad for that dog. And on top of that, to have an eyelash on a dog, she treats that dog like it's an accessory. But anyway, so after that, I believe, and also the dog, just in case anyone wants to know, the dog's name is Cha Cha. And I'm kind of looking at my notes because I wrote some notes just so I wouldn't forget anything. And then the next thing we see is that Shamia, she's at the radio station that I believe she used to work there with Big Tigger, and she's promoting her new single. And Big Tigger mentions that there's another housewife or castmate that also has a single out, and Samia goes, never has she ever heard it on that radio station, because as you know, Shamia's song is called Never Have I, so it's a play on words. So from there, then we have Brit, which, I'm sorry guys, I cannot stand Brit. She is so fake. But anyway, she's talking to her husband about some event that she's giving for her shapewear line, which is called Bare Naked. which by the way sounds a lot similar to Portia's hairline, which is, I believe, Gold Naked. But regardless, and Brit is still going on with that lie about her license being on hold, and she's saying that this is the reason why she's starting to pre-launch her pre-launch this shapewear line. So Angela, next we see that Angela and Charles, they go to visit one of her investment properties. And once they walk in, you can tell there's still so much work to be done to this house. I mean, um, just stuff all over the place. It doesn't really look. I mean, if I was going to look at a house just by the aesthetics itself, that would not make me want to pay $499,000, even if they have reduced it to, I believe she said, what they paid for it, which is what was that? I wrote my notes down, 338,000. That house it needs some, they need to actually fix it up and maybe stage the house so that when people do come to see it, they can visualize what it will look like, with furniture in it. That would be my suggestion. I'm not a realtor, but that's just my suggestion. Angela is concerned because she says that, they've invested so much into these properties and they're having a hard time selling them. And this house that they showed just now, she actually, they've reduced it 2 times. So right now they are selling the house for $338,000, which is actually what Angela actually paid for. So originally they had the house on the market for $499,000, but no one was buying it. But I'm thinking again, maybe if they stage the house, if they get some of that trash, no one wants to come and see a house and you see like trash, and then the blinds will look like they were ripped or something. They do a back screen, a flashback to the guy who I guess was supposed to be cleaning it. And he told them, it could be 2 weeks or a month or what have you. And then he tells them that he's 99.99%, he can guarantee that the house will be sold in 10 days. Obviously, that did not happen. Angela then starts to talk to Charles about her mother and her sister moving out the house that she purchased for her mother, and she mentions that she paid, what did she say, 499,000 or 450? I can't remember the exact number for that house. In my opinion, I believe the reason why her mother and her sister are moving out of that house is, I have a feeling that the daughter, or I can't see Angela throwing up in their face, but I think the daughter may be throwing it up in their face that, oh yeah, my mother bought this house, and so they're tired of that being thrown in their face. So they're like, you know what, I don't want to have to deal with this headache, so let me just go ahead and get my own property. So that's the only reason why I could see that the mother and the sister would want to leave a house that's already been paid for them and then go actually buy another house. Because if you remember at the very beginning of the season, when the daughter sat down with Angela, she said she made a comment about how she wanted to use the car that her mother paid for her grandmother to use it, and how they gave her an issue with it. So I can see the daughter throwing up in their face, yeah, my mother bought this house, or my mother bought this car, I can use it anytime that they want. So again, I wouldn't want somebody throwing that up in my face. If you're going to purchase something for me as a gift, let it be a gift, but please do not have any strings attached. And also, I don't want it to be thrown in my face. So that's my opinion on it. I could be wrong, but that's the only reason why I could think that the mother is wanting and the sister is wanting to have their own home. And then they briefly mention how Charles and Angela's mother weren't getting along. And then remember from last episode, Angela's mother told her why is because Charles said something about why doesn't she clean, and I think Angela's mother might have been taken up for her or something. So Angela basically, she did apologize to Charles, and she also tells him about Britt's event, and that she wants Charles to come as well. So the next scene that we see, okay, this is funny. So Britt is having her event at this country club. So when she gets there, I think about 5 minutes or so before it's supposed to start, and nothing really has been done. Um, so so the next person that shows up is Shamia and it's Kelly. They both show up, and Britt tells them that they are going to get in the golf court and whatever it's called, and they're going to go golfing. Now, mind you, none of them are dressed for to go golfing. Shamia has on this Balmain. It's pretty, but I noticed, like I said before, Shamia wears a lot of labels. Um, yeah, it looks like she's big. She's another Marlo. She's big on labels. Some of the times it looks good, some of the times it doesn't. But just that's just something that I observed about Shamia. So they're going golfing, and it's so funny. Kelly makes a comment. She's like, I guess Britt must have said that these were her neighbors or something, because Kelly said doesn't look like any of the neighbors actually knew her. So Britt again is just a big fake. She's just putting on just for the show. So they come back, and her event, more people are starting to come. Let me see. I have my notes here. I can't remember who came. I believe, was it Portia came, and then Portia came first, and she's asking, there's another guest there, and she's asking the guest, about what this line is about. And the guest doesn't even know what bare neck is. The guest tells Portia that she thinks is a cosmetic line. So then I believe Drew comes, and then Angela comes with Shaw's. And this is how you know someone is putting on. So I guess the plan was for only the housewives and their husbands to sit down and eat, and not the other guests, where I guess we're just supposed to stand up. But Britt says that the planner didn't follow directions, so she put menus on everyone's table and everyone's sitting down. So she has to tell them, she says, oh, the other guests were just supposed to stand up and have it's supposed to be a cocktail. My thing is, how are you going to have an event but not feed everyone? That makes no sense. Either you're going to have just cocktails, or you're going to feed everyone. So obviously she didn't have enough money. This is what I'm thinking. She didn't have enough money to cover or pay for all of her guests. I just thought that was just so tacky, and that was just her just. I've heard this about Atlanta, that everybody just puts on, and you can tell that's just Britt just needs to be herself, because we as the viewers watching, we can see right through it. So she tells the planner that, how is she going to go out and tell those people that they're not going to get anything to eat? The planners tell that they're going to take care of it. So they're all sitting at the table, and they're just all having pleasantly charts. And I just have to look at my notes a little bit. Oh, this is funny. So Britt decides to give all of the ladies like a gift or a box. So they all open it, and it's something from her bare naked line. So I believe Portia opens hers up. She goes, oh yeah, mine's a small. And then Angela says, oh, mine's an extra large. So they said, what? She got you an extra large? So it's obvious that Britt was trying to be funny. So that was just, I was like, Britt is, like I said, I just really hope that she doesn't come back. And then the way she gave the gift, which is what Shamia pointed out, she said it was just thrown in there. It didn't have any tissue. It was, the presentation just wasn't there. No tissue paper. It was just there. So just Britt just trying to put on. So the next thing, let's see. Then all of a sudden they're sitting down, and out of the blue, Angela says to the whole table, or probably Britt in particular, she goes, Charles doesn't have a side baby. So Portia and all of them are just taken back, like, oh, where did that come from? And then her and Britt's heart start to see, how they have their past issues or whatever. And then Britt says something, and then Charles says, I don't mess around with hoes like that. So I mean, I like Charles because he's like a no nonsense guy. He's the type where he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, but he does love Angela, even though it may not seem like it. But he was like, I don't mess around with any hoes like that. And then and then the next minute, then Drew and Kelly starts to go at it, and then they go back and forth, and then you see a clip from, I'm just going back to my notes. You see a clip where Drew said that she was related to Michael Jordan, and then it turned out that she wasn't. Drew is a pathological liar. And then they go to the green screen where Kelly and Shamia both talk about how Drew is a liar. So then from there, Kelly and Shamia, Kelly and Shamia, like I said, they basically say that Drew is a liar. And then Shamia starts making comments about Drew's music. And actually, no, let me take that back. So at the table, Shamia and Drew get into it because Drew Drew had called Shamia a lapdog. And she said that because Shamia went back and told Portia when she said that she, like, her working with Dennis for the music will pay for Pilar's education or college fund. And Drew said it like in a jokingly manner. Now, we don't know how Shamia took it back because I don't know if they showed that on camera. But from how Portia is saying it is that, Drew said, oh yeah, this is going to pay for Pilar's college fund. So I think at least I didn't see it on camera. It looks like Shamia may have put a little sauce on it when she went back to give that information, or relay that back to Portia. So they start going back on at the table. And then the next thing you know, Shamia, this was like totally weird because Shamia starts barking at the table. Then she says, she barks at the table and she says, kiss my ass, bitch, kiss, roof, 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 kiss my ass, bitch, kiss my, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then Britt stands up and she goes, oh, this is a classy event. You guys are going to have to take it outside. So Cynthia's sitting there. She's observing all of this. Cynthia basically, she gets up and leaves. She goes, you guys need to deal with your stuff. And Cynthia didn't want any part of that. So once Cynthia leaves, everyone else pretty much starts to get up and leave. So in my opinion, Britt's event was a total dud because when they started to argue, you could see the guests in the background all starting to laugh. So her event wasn't good. So next we see that Drew, she's actually with her entertainment lawyer and they're about to sign her deal. Dennis is actually going to be on Zoom, but she decides that before the lawyer comes in, that she wants to FaceTime Dennis because she wants to get to the root of the issue about Portia saying that Dennis said that Drew wanted to sleep with him for free studio time. So she FaceTimes Dennis. Dennis basically laughs it off because we already know Portia was lying, because when Portia brought it up to Dennis, I remember Portia, she took her glasses and she said something about maybe she didn't see it right. So Portia was just basically lying. Dennis was like, look, we're here to do some business. He goes, studio time is not free. So needless to say, Drew was happy with that. She said that her and Portia will need to sit down and have a talk. Drew signs her contract. She's really happy. Side note, I've heard that her CD or her album is very good. I haven't listened to it, but if any of you have listened to it, you can let me know. But I have heard that from someone else that that is actually really good. So, okay. This is one of the final scenes. We see Portia. She's walking up to some steps. She gets to the door. We see that there is a P on the welcome mat. So we know it's Phaedra. So Phaedra opens up the door. Her and Portia, they start hugging back and forth, and then they start showing some previous clips of when Phaedra was on there. Phaedra mentions how she's not happy of how she left the previous time, but it didn't really seem like that Phaedra really took any accountability for what she said about Candy. And it was just like, oh, she basically was saying that everyone, those who without sin, basically those who without sin cast the first stone, something like that. She didn't say those exact words, but she just took no accountability for it. But they did show some clips from when Phaedra, when she was on there with her and Apollo and her and Portia when they were freaking Frack. So they show that Portia gives Phaedra a rundown on all of the ladies. She says that Kelly is really, really small, almost like a Smurfette. She says Britt is known around Atlanta as basically as getting around. She goes a woman of town. She says about Angela, she didn't know that Charles had a wife. Let's see who else. And then I was surprised because her and Shamia originally did not get along, and that goes back to that same season. It was season 9 when she said that that Shamia and Candy were messing around, and Phaedra and Portia was sitting at that same table, and she didn't even speak up for she didn't speak up for Shamia. So
like, what I hate happened is that after their conversation, it left that space. Those details left that space. It came to you, Sheree, Kenya, and Cynthia. Now Shamia knows this whole conversation. On top of all that, you left out the details. Your friend Shamia. What is she talking about? Shamia, talking about the fact that you had liked her husband back in the day. Well, people say Shamia's sleeping with everybody's husband. So who talking about that? You know, I can't. Yeah, they best friend. Wait, Candy was you. You a motherfucking liar. You knew that? They are really close. But you think that too? I mean, she's close to both of them. She's doing her and her. She doing both.
So I was surprised to see that they were getting along because, I'm sorry, I can't even speak now. Portia gets on the phone and she calls Kelly and she calls Shamia to invite Phaedra on the trip to Grenada. So I was just shocked to see that, Shamia was all laughing and everything, because I remember before Shamia did not like Portia. She did not like Phaedra. She basically said Phaedra was a liar as well and a phony. So that really shocked me. So the next episode is actually going to show them on their trip to Grenada. So I wonder how that is going to go. So far, the season is okay. I'm starting to like some of the new ladies. Like I've already said, I don't like Britt. I don't want her coming back. Portia she tries to play dumb. I don't think she is dumb as she pretends to be. Cynthia comes in and out, and it's almost like Cynthia is the voice of reasoning. It doesn't really seem like she fits all that well in the group. She kind of comes in and out. I like Angela. I think Angela is like the MVP of the episode of the season, and I definitely hope she comes back. But yeah, so the season, this particular episode, it was okay. I do like Shamia. I like Shamia a lot. Sometimes I think she's a little extra, but I do like Shamia. I always said about Portia, if she knew that she was going to divorce Simon, why didn't she wait until like the filming started and then like divorced him once they already had started filming, and maybe she could have filmed something in the house? But obviously she didn't know that Simon was going to, block her from filming and doing all of this. Right now, Simon is still in ICE, and they're supposed to, supposed to show up to have their their hearing on whether or not to uphold the prenup. In my opinion, I don't know why Portia just won't go back to the house that she already has that her mother is staying in. But overall, this particular episode, it was okay. I mean, it was okay. We'll see what happens next week when they go on their vacation. I don't see Phaedra offering anything to the show. She never really gives any insight into her private life. I think we are going to see that 30-year-old guy that she's dating, but so that's it for this. What was it? Season 16, Sweet 16, episode 12. So if you like this, video, I would love it if you guys can give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It's at For the Love of Coco 206. That's at the number 4 For the Love of Coco at 2006. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.